Shadow in an attempt at blood.
An attempt.
Almost
got to play Bloodcraft.
We are 2 for 3 for Portalcraft showing up.
That's true. So I thought the curse was lifted immediately, but then it showed right back up. Okay.
Oh,
never
2
mind.
for 4.
All right.
The confirmation bias is being broken all over the place here.
All right, Igni. I'm thinking Swordcraft right now. What are you thinking?
Haven.
Haven.
I pick Haven out of these choices every time. Dragon has too many high-cost bricks. You can get like a Python into your deck.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
You have Dragoncraft and Swordcraft behind you, and you're going to pick the one you don't have?
Right.
Are you looking to expand, quote-unquote, your friendships?
You need more cardboard cutouts.
Not being faithful is not good.
Listen.
All right, so talk to us
I'm in
about
it
this
to win.
Dragoncraft
You're
deck.
in it to win.
It is a win, yeah. Talk to us about this Dragoncraft deck. What are you looking for in Dragoncraft, Igni? What about it makes you not like it, and what about this class could make you like it if you get those cards?
I think one of the best performing Dragoncraft decks in Constructed is one that employs a lot of powerful neutral decks, and it's hard neutral cards, and it's harder to get that consistency in Take 2. And Dragoncraft, the class itself, has a lot of subpar cards in the class. So, like for example, you can get, like I said, Python in the draft, which is something that you're definitely not looking for. But at the same time, if you can make it to the late game and you have enough tools to get there, then Dragoncraft can dominate. You just have to get the tools to get there. So you definitely need early game, because I feel like a lot of the time you're going to be offered a lot of these heavy cards like Frostfire Dragon, and if you just don't have enough early game to get there, you're never going to play the cards in your deck at all. So.
That's right. I mean, and good effect, what we can see right now on the screen, like we're not even halfway into the deck right now, and we already see 1 7 drop, 2 8 drops. That's not what we normally see in a lot of the classes when they draft them.
Right.
Deadly. It's a deadly trap. It's a big sure
Pick Basilisk Rider every time.
Every time.
Slam that button every single time. I've been so impressed with Basilisk Rider. Even in Constructed, I've been running it in aggro Dragon decks, and it's just amazing.
Interesting.
Tell us more, Igni.
Yeah, tell us more about Basilisk Rider.
Well, I mean, in aggro Dragon specifically, they have a lot of cards that synergize with you having a board state, like Hippogriff Rider and Phoenix Rider Aina depend on your board state. And Basilisk Rider sticks around, and it trades into their threats, so that you can just develop yours and go face without having to worry too much about their board state. So I think Basilisk Rider is really underrated in a more aggressive Dragoncraft archetype. But in Take 2 specifically, just being able to deal with gigantic threats twice for a very low cost is just insane. So
is that video out? Do you have a video of that? Yeah.
I did play aggro Dragon. I don't know if that build had Basilisk Rider in it, but I've been playing with Basilisk Rider recently. So
We'll make a new video, Igni.
Make
fast.
it, Igni.
Give us the link.
all right. Jeez.
Oh, pick the Israfil.
Chronos.
You already have it
Chronos.
You already have it tilting on the
There
windmills.
we go.
Yes.
Chronos has won me more games than I'd even thought was possible in Take 2.
Really?
Why
Chronos
is that?
is surprisingly insane.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. Somehow it just works out.
In
like it
what
doesn't seem like it
class?
would. I played it. I don't remember. I think I played it in. I don't even remember. But I played a Chronos out, and then they Ectored. This was on stream. They Ectored their board, but the additional attack from Ector propped the Chronos more, and then he decked out, and I won. I'm like, oh, okay.
So people just don't know how to play against it as house when you
People don't know how to play against Chronos.
Perfect.
Wow.
Not even I knew how it worked. Like I didn't know it worked that way. That it would take into account the Ector buff for the Chronos draw, and then he just lost. And I'm like, oh.
Well, we'll
Nice.
see. We'll
That's
see
more
if
than-
that's what happens this match. If Kronos is actually able to make something happen, he is the dude on our logo. So
He is.
yeah,
He
we'll
is.
see. We'll see. We'll reconnect with Igni afterwards.
I like this deck. Again, it's very high cost. There are a lot of cards that he could get stuck with in hand. He does have a lot of good options for the early curve, though. Not like the last Dragoncraft attempt we just saw, where it was just stuck with literally everything that he couldn't play for so long. But I think Igni's right. So like I think Dragoncraft does have a high power level. It's just the variance of getting the high power level cards is a little iffy.
Yeah. And that's the biggest question in Take 2 is how do you make sure you are well set up in your deck for success. So we have Most Weakest playing Portalcraft again. Certainly Portalcraft has showed up in all of our games.
This is what it's about. So I really feel like Portalcraft is getting kind of like an unfair advantage in pick rate here because it shows up so much. I think that's just what it is. Like it's like Portalcraft, Runecraft, X, and it's just like, well, I don't want to play X, and I can't play Runecraft, so all right, Portalcraft it is. Here we go.
Ooh.
I'm thinking it's subliminal messaging.
Subliminal?
Thinking this, yeah, it's just you Portal Craft, play it, more Portal Craft. Everybody play it. Let's go.
We'll see if it can find success this time around. It generally, even when we were watching North American and European versions, just did not have a very good shot at winning matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like because the cards were bad. It's just they don't generate enough value, right? They don't have things that last in play. They don't have last word effects. They don't have things that would necessarily be good in Take Two specifically.
Now, what is the plan here? The Cursed Stone is an annoying body to try to fight past.
You might just have to get through it with the Breath this turn just so that you can have more options on the following turns, because when you leave wards up, it makes your evolution turns a lot harder, a lot trickier to work with.
But then again, it still won't actually be able to do anything for 2 turns.
It's true. It doesn't necessarily do anything. It just sits there and is very annoying.
Yeah,
Oh,
looks like he's
interesting.
going with the option of actually just leaving it there.
I like this too.
Which the first evolution turn is going to come on ASTALOS's side. And he's ahead in followers. So he's going to maintain those followers because the Cursed Stone actually can't take any action.
That's true, and he's just going to evolve over the ward. So either way, you're going to have to evolve over to this ward. I mean, I guess he could jam both of his followers into it, but I don't think his play last turn basically follows that game plan. And now it's just, does he want to push for a bunch of face damage? Does he want to take over board? These are always the toughest decisions.
Yeah,
in Take Two.
I definitely agree. I do feel like for Astalos's Dragoncraft deck, you want to be thinking about board state, right? Rather than necessarily going face, because you're going to get that if you win the board state in the late game.
That's true, because as we can see, that Chronos and Israfil are sitting there. Now, that's kind of a weird 1-2 punch. You might not be able to do it in that order, because it might be really bad for you to draw 10 cards if you're saving an evolution for the Israfil.
Draw 10 cards every time.
But, you know, it could refill your entire hand, and then if your opponent doesn't deal with your Israfil, you probably win anyway. So, we'll see how he decides to play that out if it gets there. And as far as we can see, this game does not look like it's going to be ending fast.
Yeah. Yeah, Chronos. I don't think we've ever seen a Chronos played on a Shadowverse Open yet.
Not in Take Two. We've seen it in rotation once. Oh, no, it wasn't rotation. You know what it was? It was our release tournament. It was in one of the winning decks.
Ah.
It was
not
Dragon
on the Shadowverse Open.
Not on the
yeah.
Shadowverse Open, that's right.
Yeah. It's such a weird card.
It is. Everybody, when it first came out, everybody put it into their Dragoncraft decks because they were like, it's the final push card. You play a Zeus, attack for 5, draw 5. They kill it, you play another Zeus, and you just keep the chain rolling until you win. Or you can play around it to an effect of you just let your opponent lose because you just keep removing all their followers. In Take Two, no such strategy can be implemented. It's kind of just like, all right, we'll see what happens.
Ooh, Dimension Cut is very nice. It becomes such efficient removal, you know. Wow, the last evolution orb going into the Axe Fighter here.
Interesting use of an evolution orb here.
Oh, look at those stats.
A lot of stats. Can be dealt with, though.
Interesting, but can you deal with it without spending an evolution orb?
Currently, no. Currently, you might just have to take that 7 if you don't want to use the evolution orb, but I think that's kind of a no-go when you're already at 14.
Yeah.
Well, you could just play the Lion Champion and pass.
I think he's going to evolve with this line.
This is not bad either. You still get a Bane left over for whatever follower most weakest wants to put out the turn after.
Yeah, I think that's important. I don't know if most weakest necessarily wants to use something like Dimension Cut here. I mean, maybe now that you drew the Imperial Swordsman, you do.
Yeah, you kind of want to protect that guy. Especially because it's on curve, yeah. Well,
that's
unless
also
he
your
thinks
entire hand.
Yeah, unless he thinks it's going to be expended on the ward here, which there's a very good chance it will be. But it doesn't need to be now with a ward of his own. Okay.
Interesting.
These guys are just trading cards for cards.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Imperial Swordsman down. And this is important here. Now, is there any way... I think he dealt 2 there, right? His Resonance was off.
Yep, 2 damage. Next turn, Resonance will be back, which means Dimension Cut will turn on again as well.
Oh, a turn away from Israfil.
Yeah, Israfil without an Evolution Orb, though. This is a really good turn. Really good turn. Rat's Rake, great in take 2.
Yeah. That, I feel like, was a lifesaver. That is probably very, very, very weak.
Yeah. Good enough here, though. We'll take out the opposing follower, the Wrath Drake, and stay alive. It does have that all-important keyword rush on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to rely on that Saphira as a win condition here.
Yeah,
I don't even know how many
can.
artifacts you've put into your deck. It's going to at most do, what, 4? 5?
Yeah, not enough. Not enough. And I guess you can wait on it for like a really, really late game, but when you have no cards left in your hand and you're playing against a Dragoncraft opponent that has 4, and they've only been playing 1 thing a turn, you've got to be expecting more big plays.
Something.
Yeah.
You can't let them just get free cards out onto the board.
Yeah, and I feel like there's just going to be an Israfel. Oh. Okay.
Wow, the lockout plus the removal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good play. In my mind, I want to get Israfel down as fast as I can so I can start just keeping control of this board. But I don't think it's going to matter with the amount of cards that MOSTWEAKEST has access to here.
Ooh, doesn't go for removal. And again, this means you can just kind of drop the Israfel, and then the cards will either get removed or get locked out here.
And MOSTWEAKEST is going to have to top deck something. Oh, wow. Just holding on to that Israfel.
It is a tough board to handle, but I feel like it was a little bit risky.
Yeah. Yeah. And MOSTWEAKEST is just not going to have the options to take out all of these huge followers from the side of ASTALOSX here.
This is what we were talking about for Dragoncraft. It kind of gets to this point where if you just keep playing for board, you're just going to have so much more heavy-hitting options in the late game.
It's true. So, granted, it's a really good way to look at it, guys, if you're like, okay, how do I play Dragoncraft? Do I go face? Do I ignore what they're doing? I mean, think about the context of your deck. If you have a lot of high drops, as long as you can maintain control of the board, eventually you will be able to play just more big stuff than your opponent, and they can't really come back from it, not especially without any evolution orbs.
Wow.
And MOSTWEAKEST can't do anything but spam here, like, stop playing all these big followers.
Oh, there's a Deus Ex Machina.
Wow.
Yeah, at least you'll get to shuffle your board a bit.
Yep.
This means you can take out the Cetus, but Israfel remains, and that's 10 damage just sitting in the wings here.
And Pitfall is another defensive card.
All right, has some options here. Ooh, goes for the removal.
Yeah, I think he's just playing super safe.
Yeah, and you can't blame him.
Not only can you not blame him, there is a win condition sitting in the hand of ASTALOSX without even having to attack, and that's Chronos, because MOSTWEAKEST has played a Deus Ex Machina. He could just slam that down on an appropriate turn, and then the game just ends. We can have an Igni-like game here where somebody just decks out to a Chronos.
This combined with the puppet makes for a very nice removal on the Israfel. It still has some options here.
Now the real question is, does MOSTWEAKEST have access to a second Saphira?
Yeah, that is. I mean, at this point, that's what you need, right?
I think that is what you need. Now, eventually, there could be so much advantage gained off of this Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Not Deus. It's not Spanish for two. that you can just take over the board. I mean, this is kind of seeming like a control, like Portalcraft deck that we'd see in rotation, right? It's just gaining tons of advantage every single turn, but it doesn't have such the refill potential to actually just pop off every single turn. You can't afford to keep going.
You didn't activate Resonance?
With only 11 cards left when you have a full board, I don't know if you can afford to. You only have like one more trigger.
So you have to live off the top deck?
I think you only have one more trigger. Maybe it was the right choice to pull the trigger right now, so you have the most options for the following turn. But it's scary. It's scary because you have to consider I can just lose this game if I keep activating Resonance.
Wow, this is a tough board to handle. There's just so much stats.
And the fact that ASTALOSX is playing defense, he has not stopped playing defensively this entire game, even after all of these high drops.
He's only swung when he felt like he has had the opportunity to. The puppet again for the combo. We'll be able to take down the 4/1 Bane.
The fact that MOSTWEAKEST is still in this game is crazy to me.
Yeah, just getting the options. You can take down the 2/2 here. Oh man, the thing as well is
it's that Chronos though. That Chronos can literally just come down and win the game.
Yeah.
Chronos attack into the 5-4. You're at 12. And your opponent
well,
has 1 card left.
Your opponent basically has 1 turn.
Yeah,
right?
they have 1 turn.
So most weakest, if Chronos is played, just needs to end the game on the next turn.
I'm sorry, not 1 card, but 3 cards. But 3 cards still. That means you can't play a follower that's big enough to finish Astalos in 1 turn anyway. 1 or 2 turns. Yeah, I think the Chronos is just game over.
Interesting. Is that true? Is that true? What if you just throw both your followers in and just wait?
You can, but then you're just losing, right? You're in
Well,
this
you're taking
crappy
6.
situation.
If you throw both your followers, you're taking 6, so you have 3 turns to live, and he has 2 turns.
That's true.
Just throw your cards in.
That's all you got. I mean, I guess that's the only option, right?
That actually will, unless there's storm damage in hand, right?
Well, now, if he throws all of his cards in, then Astalos doesn't have to play anything either, and they can just both play the waiting game.
No. But there's actually no way for Astalos to remove his own followers if he does that, right? You see what I'm saying? There's actually nothing if...
Well,
I don't know if you could have traded out that way.
How does Most Weakest get rid of his board without allowing Astalos to attack into it? There's no way to do that.
So if he threw in his 1-2 into Chronos and his 3-2 into the Actress, I suppose. That's the only way.
But he played these 4 attack followers and it just lost the game because of it. So
I wonder if that line. I feel like that line was the only way you could go. Is let your opponent ping you for 4. I actually think Most Weakest was healthy enough, and there were little enough cards in Astalos' deck that it was the opposite scenario, where it's like you actually can't play strong enough followers and end the game fast enough before I draw out.
you have to play the Chronos game once Chronos comes down.
I actually think Most Weakest could have won that.
You